They ruled millions, commanded armies, inspired terror across entire continents. But in the end, every single one of them died just like the rest of us, mortal, powerless, and in some cases, absolutely pathetic. This is how history's most notorious dictators spent their final moments. April 1945. Berlin is collapsing. Soviet artillery is tearing through the streets. The Third Reich of Empire that was supposed to last 1,000 years is crumbling in real time. And Adolf Hitler, he's hiding 30 feet underground in a concrete bunker, surrounded by the last of his loyalists who are watching him completely fall apart. For days, the man who sent millions to death camps and ordered entire cities burned to the ground paces in his bunker, ranting, trembling, deteriorating. On April 29th, in one of the strangest moments in history, he marries his longtime mistress Eva Braun in a bizarre ceremony held after midnight. Less than 24 hours later it's over. On April 30th, 1945, around 3:30 in the afternoon, Hitler and Eva Braun retreat to their private room. He bites down on a cyanide capsule and simultaneously shoots himself in the head. Eva takes only the poison. Their bodies are dragged up the stairs by SS officers, carried into the Reich Chancellery garden, doused in gasoline, and set on fire while Soviet guns thunder in the distance. The man who orchestrated the deaths of tens of millions chose to escape justice by his own hand, leaving behind nothing but charred bones and a legacy soaked in blood. He was 56 years old. News of Hitler's death rippled across the world, officially ending the war in Europe, and launching conspiracy theories that persist to this day about whether he actually died or somehow escaped. Spoiler, he didn't escape. He died a coward. Benito Mussolini, El Deuce, the man who once stood on balconies, chest puffed out, preaching about restoring the glory of the Roman Empire. By April 1945, he's running for his life. Disguised in a German military coat and helmet, Mussolini tries to flee to Switzerland, blending in with a convoy of retreating German soldiers. On April 27th, communist partisans stop the convoy at a checkpoint near Lake Como, and they find him, the great fascist leader, hiding like a fugitive. Mussolini and his mistress, Clara Petacci, are pulled from the convoy and held overnight. The next day, April 28th, a partisan commander named Walter Audicio arrives with a simple order to execute them. What happens next is swift and brutal. Mussolini and Petacci are taken to the gate of a villa in the village of Giuliano de Mezzegra and shot with a submachine gun. Their bodies are thrown into a van and driven to Milan, specifically to a place called Piazza Loreto. This location wasn't chosen randomly. Months earlier, Mussolini's regime had executed 15 partisans and publicly displayed their corpses at that exact spot. Now, it was his turn. On the morning of April 29th, the bodies are dumped on the pavement. A massive crowd gathers and it turns into a frenzy. People kick the corpses, spit on them, fire more bullets into them. One woman reportedly shoots Mussolini's body 5 more times, once for each of her sons who died because of him. And then comes the finale. The bodies are strung up upside down from the roof of a gas station. The crowd erupts, jeering, celebrating, taking photos beneath the dangling dictator who once ruled them with absolute power. Mussolini's grotesque death flashed across newspapers worldwide, marking the definitive end of fascist Italy and becoming one of the most iconic images of justice delivered by the people.
Take Kim Jong-il, the supreme leader of North Korea. State propaganda claimed he could control the weather, that he shot 11 holes in one the first time he ever played golf, and that he didn't even need to use the bathroom. They portrayed him as a literal god. But on December 17, 2011, this god died from something incredibly ordinary, a heart attack. Official reports claim the 69-year-old was traveling by train on a field guidance tour when he died from the sheer physical and mental strain of his tireless work for the people. The state media waited to full days before the legendary news anchor Ri Kun-hee, sobbing uncontrollably, announced his death to the world. What followed were scenes of mass, theatrical hysteria. People wailing, collapsing in the streets, bowing before his portrait. Was it genuine grief, or a performance born from pure terror? Probably a mix of both. The truth was, Kim had been suffering from diabetes and heart disease for years, a fact the regime carefully hid. Power passed seamlessly to his son, Kim Jong-un, and the man responsible for mass starvation and executions died of natural causes, never facing justice. Then there's Joseph Stalin, who ruled the Soviet Union for nearly 3 decades. His weapons were purges, show trials, gulags, and paranoia. And in a twisted turn of fate, that same culture of terror is likely what killed him. On March 1, 1953, after a late-night dinner with his inner circle, Stalin went to his room. And then, silence. Hours passed. His guards knew something was wrong, but they were too terrified to check on him. Stalin had created an atmosphere where knocking on his door uninvited was a death sentence. Finally, late the next evening, someone found the courage to enter. Stalin was on the floor, semi-conscious, having suffered a massive stroke. Precious hours had been lost. The doctors, who were called, were also terrified. Stalin had just purged the country's best physicians, and they feared being blamed if he died. For 4 days, Stalin lay dying while his top lieutenants circled like vultures, already scheming for power. He died on March 5th, alone on a floor, surrounded by people too scared to help the man who had made them that way. Power doesn't make you immortal, it just makes your fall more dramatic. If you want to explore the darkest, most untold moments in history, smash that subscribe button. We release new videos every single week, and trust me, we're just getting started. Drop a comment below. Which dictator's death shocked you the most? I read every comment, and your ideas shape our future content. And please, share this video with one person who loves history. Every like, comment, and share helps this channel grow. Thanks for watching.